Yo, what's up everyone? How we all doing? Back with another video. It's only a short one, and it's just kinda to keep up on the matters of the day. For anyone that's new here, I've kinda put conservative in the title. But just as a little frame of reference, if you're new here, I'm only kind of slightly right of centre. If you really want to put me on a spectrum, just so you have some frame of reference for like where I probably stand on some of the issues that he's going to talk about. I expect he's just going to, run over the kind of just the viewpoints that he said throughout. I suppose he'd touch on the coronavirus, obviously. I heard he's already taken action against that. He'll probably touch on social injustices, racial reform, global warming. He'll probably touch on that. I imagine he's just going to run through a few things and just kind of give a little viewpoint to what he's going to do about them. So I was just interested to see, what he's going to talk about, and I thought you guys might want to join me because I haven't watched this yet. I know it's only a shortened down version, but I imagine it's going to be the good stuff. Yeah, congratulations to President Joe Biden as well.
Is America's day. This is democracy's day. A day of history and hope, of renewal and resolve. Few people in our nation's history have been more challenged or found a time more challenging or difficult than the time we're in now. Once-in-a-century virus that silently stalks the country. It's taken as many lives in 1 year as America lost in all of World War II.
I think that's about right, isn't it? 405,000 died in World War II, American lives. It's obviously a bit hit and miss about what they class as a COVID-19 death. It's a very contentious issue over here, and I imagine it to be in America, where if you have an underlying issue, i.e. cancer, a heart attack, anything along them lines, and you die with COVID in your system, it goes down as a COVID-19 death. That's a very contentious issue. Not really sure I agree with how they're classed. Obviously, the survival rate from COVID-19 alone, from what I understand, is something stupid like 99% with the vaccine. 99% until you hit the age of 72, and then over the age of 72 it goes down to 98%. From the most recent studies over here, and I imagine it to be the same over there, obviously. But we'll carry on.
Millions of jobs have been lost. Hundreds of thousands of businesses closed. A cry for racial justice, some 400 years in the making, moves us. The dream of justice for all will be deferred no longer. A cry for survival comes from the planet itself. A cry that can't be any more desperate or any more clear. And now, a rise of political extremism, white supremacy, domestic terrorism, that we must confront and we will defeat.
I'm always very confused when I hear Americans talking about white supremacy and domestic terrorism. Because again, you have to have the conversation, what do we class as domestic terrorism? Is a school shooting domestic terrorism? That's a conversation you can have for yourself. I wouldn't quite class it as terrorism because, there's not a direct political motivation behind it. White supremacy is alluding to the Proud Boys of the KKK, who, from what I know, make up tiny proportions of America. It's weird because I recently watched the head of the Black Lives Matter movement talk about her frustrations with Joe Biden, saying that he hasn't been in contact or he hasn't held true to his promises. So it's interesting that he come up and talks about, racial injustices. It's a weird situation. I'm not claiming to know everything before you ask, and the old idea of the video is that he'll say something, I'll give my opinion on it. So I understand videos like this are obviously going to get a lot more dislikes than any other videos, because what I say are just my opinions and people aren't going to agree, hence they'll dislike the video. But I think it's good to open up the debate in the comments and just have a little conversation about some of the stuff that he mentions.
To overcome these challenges, to restore the soul and secure the future of America, requires so much more than words. It requires the most elusive of all things in a democracy: unity. Unity. In another January, on New Year's Day in 1863, Abraham Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation. When he put pen to paper, the president said, and I quote, "If my name ever goes down into history, it'll be for this act, and my whole soul is in it." My whole soul is in it. Today, on this January day, my whole soul is in this, bringing America together, uniting our people, uniting our nation. And I ask every American to join me in this cause. I know speaking of unity can sound to some like a foolish fantasy these days. I know the forces that divide us are deep and they are real. But I also know they are not new. Our history has been a constant struggle.
So just to stop it there. So far, like, for me, I don't know how you feel when I hear politicians speak. I hear like the main topics that they touch on, and then all the bullshit in the middle, and then he'll touch on another important topic. It's probably not a good way to view a political speech, if I'm honest. But when you listen to so many, it's like racial injustice, blah 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 blah, global warming, blah 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 blah, war in Iraq. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of the bit in between. It's just the soothing words of a president, which kind of fall on my deaf ears apparently. I don't know how you guys see that. I understand what you're saying, and as far as speeches go, it's a good speech so far for what he represents. He's talking about unity. He's touched on things that we should unify on. He's kind of alluding to a greater evil, somewhere in the distance probably, which he'll talk more on. But, as far as speeches go, it's a good speech for him. He doesn't always have the easiest time getting his speeches across, and I know that's something a lot of conservatives and Republicans like to make fun of. I don't think it's real smart to make fun of people like that. You see, the thing is that I feel it's always very nice to imagine your opposition as being stupid. It's very easy to do it. Democrats always say how stupid Trump is and how stupid his supporters are. Republicans always talk about how stupid Biden is and how dumb his followers are and how brainwashed they are, and there's no positives to be brought from that. You can't understand what you apparently hate. I think that's the general problem, and you'll often find it's them same people who talk of the other people as being stupid that they're always the ones going for, oh, we should just come together and communicate. You're not going to want to communicate with someone that believes you're stupid on the basis of just having a conversation. Got my words mixed up a little bit there, so it's kind of ironic. But let's carry on.
But I also know they are not new. Our history has been a constant struggle between the American ideal that we're all are created equal and the harsh, ugly reality that racism, nativism, fear, demonization have long torn us apart. The battle is perennial, and victory is never assured. Through Civil War, the Great Depression, World War, 9/11, through struggle, sacrifice, and setbacks, our better angels have always prevailed. In each of these moments, enough of us have come together to carry all of us forward. And we can do that now. History, faith, and reason show the way of unity. We can see each other not as adversaries, but as neighbors. We can treat each other with dignity and respect. Okay. We can join forces, stop the shouting, and lower the temperature. For without unity, there is no peace, only bitterness and fury.
Okay, so I can see one of the good things that Joe Biden is, and you're going to think, like, this is super naive and ignorant of me to think, right? He does have the ability to kind of cool the pot, as he's saying, to cool the temperature of the pot, in my opinion. See, with Trump, agree or disagree, you can't deny he raises the temperature. And it's almost like a Hollywood-style speech when he speaks. Everything's to the extremes. These people are awesome, amazing people, and these people are evil. There's very little in between, and that does polarize people. And that may be one of the reasons why Joe Biden won. If I think Joe Biden would have swayed a lot of Republicans because, no offense to him, he's a bit of a dead horse. He's a safe pair of hands, isn't he? A lot of people allude to that he's not in control, it's the people behind him. He's a safe pair of hands in the eyes of a lot of the public, I think. He's not as extreme as Trump. You never know what Trump you're going to get with him. And not a lot of people like that. Joe Biden can be seen as a bit of a dead horse, and I don't want to insult people that may have voted for him when I say that. I hope you understand what I mean. Also, it's just to touch on what he spoke about racial injustice. I've spent some time in America, 6 or 7 months. I lived out there in 2015. So, just as Trump was running, but in the early stages, I saw next to no racism when I was out there. What I did see was you guys are a big policed state. There's a lot of police, a lot of security everywhere. Maybe that goes hand in hand because this whole, police are racist kind of thing going on. So am I missing something? Because from what I see and the statistics that I read on police brutality and that, it doesn't indicate racism to me. I don't see that. The statistics look fairly normal. I saw a stat the other day that the protest, but the summer protest, the Black Lives Matter protest, actually killed more people than the police have in the previous 2 years. Killed black men in the previous 2 years. And the statistic looked fairly solid. I looked at where it came from, the source, and it looked fairly solid, but you know how statistics can be. Let me know what you guys think of his speech. I think it's a good speech so far. If you was a Biden supporter, I suppose you'd be happy with this, and if you was a Trump supporter, I don't think you'd be too mad at this clip, this 4 minutes. I know it's probably like an hour-long speech, but so far, it's okay.
No progress, only exhausting outrage. No nation, only a state of chaos. This is our historic moment of crisis and challenge, and unity is the path forward. And we must meet this moment as the United States of America.
So, it was a good speech, as I said. I'd be interested to see what other people thought of it and what their take was from it. I think, as a whole, though, I don't think you can be too mad at that. As a Democrat, I don't really want to touch on the whole election thing anymore because it gets people really heated, and I kind of underestimated how sensitive the whole subject was about how legitimate the election was. I personally find it very, very, very hard to believe that Joe Biden is the most popular president in history. I find it hard to believe that he got more votes than Joe Biden, than Barack Obama, sorry. But then on the other side of the coin is, I think people's just distaste for Trump would have brought them out in support of Biden rather than them actually liking Biden. Tell me where you stand on that, because I understand it's a very sensitive issue, and I hope you can appreciate how well I've chosen my words. I feel like I may have been a bit brash in the past and just throwing my opinions out there. It's something I'm learning to handle. Let me know what you think. Give me some more stuff to react to if you think I'm missing a part of the game, and there's something I need to be educated on. Definitely drop a video in there. I'm all happy to watch, whether it be the Daily Wire or, a left-wing type show, a liberal show, I should say. Let me know. I really appreciate you joining me, and hope it didn't offend anyone, and hope it was all good. I ain't trying to hurt no one's feelings, man. But yeah, peace out, man. Take it easy, and definitely let me know what you guys thought. Peace. Oh, like, comment, subscribe, man. It means the most. Thank you.